I went to my ex-wife's wedding reception not out of happiness, but out of respect. We had parted on good terms a year earlier, and she was marrying someone she met just a few months after our divorce. I told myself I had moved on, at least that's what I kept repeating in my mind. Still, walking into a room filled with our mutual friends, many of whom had chosen sides when we split, was more difficult than I expected. The venue was stunning, alive with laughter, music, and celebration. Glasses clinked, couples danced without worry, and guests smiled brightly for the cameras. I sat quietly at the edge of it all, slowly sipping my drink, unsure whether my presence was an act of courage or pure foolishness. Every so often, I caught people glancing my way, whispering behind folded napkins and offering tight, awkward smiles. Three old friends, men I used to spend time with during my marriage, approached my table. I greeted them warmly, hoping we could reconnect, even briefly. Instead of friendly conversation, they began to tease. One of them smirked and said, "So, how does it feel seeing your ex happier than ever without you?" Another chimed in, "Maybe you were just the warm-up act for the real guy." I forced a thin smile, refusing to let their words show on my face. They laughed louder than necessary, drawing curious looks from nearby guests. Heat rose to my cheeks, but I kept quiet. The third friend leaned closer and added with fake sympathy, "Don't worry, some men are just practice husbands." That one cut deeper than the others. Before I could answer, I heard the sharp sound of heels clicking against the marble floor behind me. It was my ex-wife. She had clearly heard that last remark. Her expression was calm, but unreadable as she looked from me to the three men surrounding my table. The noise in the room began to fade. She stepped closer and gently placed her hand on my shoulder. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said clearly, capturing the room's attention, "I want to say something about this man right here." The band fell silent, and all eyes turned toward us. The three men shifted back, suddenly uneasy. She continued, "This man gave me years of loyalty, laughter, and unwavering support. Our marriage ended, but not because he was a bad husband." Her voice grew steadier. "He showed patience when I was difficult. He showed kindness when I didn't always deserve it. And most importantly, he taught me what real love looks like. Without him, I wouldn't have recognized it when it finally came into my life." I stood frozen. Her words were honest, heartfelt, and completely unexpected. Around the room, I saw faces soften. Some guests nodded quietly. Even the groom offered a respectful nod from across the hall. The three friends looked as if they wished the floor would swallow them whole. She turned back to me, her voice softer now. "You didn't lose me. You helped me grow. And for that, I will always be thankful." She gave me a brief hug before returning to her husband, leaving a stunned silence in her wake. No one mocked me after that. Instead, a few guests approached to shake my hand and start genuine conversations. Some even apologized for how they had treated me during the divorce. In that moment, I understood something important. Respect doesn't always arrive when you demand it. Sometimes it appears quietly, in the most unexpected way. The rest of the evening felt different. I no longer felt small or judged. I felt acknowledged. As I walked out of the reception, I wasn't carrying bitterness anymore. I felt lighter. Her words had reminded me of my value and reassured me that perhaps better chapters still awaited me. That night, I didn't cry or retreat into sadness. I stepped into the calm evening air with my head held high, knowing that although our story had ended, I had never been the villain in it, and in her eyes I never truly was.